problem set and checking it off.
Yeah,
That's
it can very much be like, okay, you have 30 seconds to make sure you have everything on the checklist on your graph. Like, check your work and add what you need to.
Yeah, and I think I pulled a little bit of like my own experience into this, and like when I first taught graphs, and it was like my first, obviously it was like first year teaching mistakes. So like I think it was one of those things where like I didn't make sure that they did those. So like I really wanted to enforce it now. And it's even like when I was thinking about this last time, I was like, maybe I did, like, I was thinking to myself, like, maybe I'm spending too much time on this template and we need to go through the problem set.
Yeah.
But I just that
You're like, you've
gotta
get it.
You've gotta get it.
Yeah.
And like one of those things that I like, just it comes with like the years and years of teaching of like, okay, no, like you guys need to like release some of that control. It was like, no, I like want to make sure you guys have got this, but.
And I think it was really sticky. I do think that when they are making scaled bar graphs, like they're gonna know the 3 big things that they always need to include.
Yeah.
I think since we know how fast Eureka moves, thinking through when you're planning, like what do I absolutely need to review in the problem set before they do the exit ticket?
Yeah.
Did you have time to review any of this? I wasn't in here for that.
Yeah, like I was able to review it really well with the first group I'm with, because there's different, like at different points, because I also just move at different, like even group A, when I release them back to their desk to work independently, because they work at different points, I'll tell them like, bring it back up to me whenever I'm not like directly teaching. So like when group B was working on whether they were filling in their bar, this was a great one because like when group B was then filling in the data on their bar graph, which takes them like 5 minutes, I could go around to group A, check it, I'd give them a star or whatever, or like circle which ones they needed to do. So what it did, I did get a good chance to review with the students, but not like explicit, just kind of go back and check. And I felt like a lot of them were like, I'd be like, hey, what'd you do here? Like, take a look, and they were like, oh.
Yeah. If you only had time to go over one, which of the problem set problems would you pick to go over with them?
Definitely number 3. So they use the same data from number 2.
Okay.
But I would choose 3 because then it also does go with the number line plot at the bottom.
Yep. Why would you not choose 5? Just plain double ticket. It's over here, sorry. I printed double sided. This is the exit ticket. That's one more page of the problem set.
Oh, I mean 3 just because, I mean, I guess you can't do 5 without doing 3 if I was thinking of all of it.
I see. Okay, yep.
Because
So you're viewing that as 1.
I kind of view that as 1. I know it's not, but like I kind of view 3, 4, and 5 as like, if I were to spend time on 1, it would be 3, 4, like that next problem.
Yeah, because if they can do 5A and 5B, they should be able to do their exit ticket B well. And I think that's where the objective for this is almost misleading of like create scaled bar graphs. As you said, they're not creating them anywhere in their problem set even.
No.
It's really more around the standard of making meaning from the bar graphs. Okay. Do you feel confident that they're more successful at making meaning from them now, or is that something you guys are still practicing?
It's something we're definitely like we reviewed today a little bit, but much better. Like, yeah.
Okay, cool. So thinking about this trend of like picking one problem to review, that was my feedback. I apologize you're not seeing it until now. But you hit like all the most important concepts around having a criteria for success for making scaled bar graphs. That's super sticky. And your question of she brought 3 fish from the tank, like how many would she have left, write a number sentence, I think was the absolute strongest because that's what they needed more practice with. So just in terms of pacing, it seemed that they would only have like 10 minutes to do their problem set and then their exit ticket until the end. So picking like what's the big problem set problem they need to do and review before moving on to their exit ticket.
No, that's something I've always struggled with a little bit with Eureka, is doing that debrief before the exit ticket.
Yeah.
It's like, so, I mean, just that, yeah.
The timing piece.
That is the timing piece, like getting all of it in, and then that debrief, because that debrief I do, like, whenever you are able to debrief and talk about it real quick, or even just showing it, even one of those things like showing the student an excellent example of the student talking about like why I love doing that. It's just,
the timing piece.
But that is, I mean, And it's even like just 2 minutes, but it always becomes those 2 minutes that like, cause us to.
It's the best time.
It is.
Cool. So thinking about this, let's look at tomorrow. Hopefully this is the right one. Lesson 12. Which would you say, looking at the exit ticket first, are then the most important that you definitely want to be able to talk about as a class before they go off to do their exit ticket? Measure side lengths and whole numbers, units to determine the ruler day.
Ruler day, which I love.
Have you guys done ruler practice in a while? Like, how's basic measuring?
Yeah, area we did
Okay.
we did some measurements, so yeah. And it'll be really nice now that I have the dot cam, cause like then I can show them like line up endpoints.
Yeah. Well, what do you think
honestly,
is going to be the biggest misconception on the exit ticket?
I mean, probably just like measuring incorrectly.
Mhm.
Incorrect. I mean that's my first go-to is just incorrect measurement.
Mhm.
For me, I think it's really important to connect that they really only have to do 2 measurements.
Mhm. Mm.
Like I really wanted them to make that connection because
Yeah.
it's about efficiency. Like
Yeah.
you only have to measure this one, and then they're all the same, and we should know that. Like, or I think one thing I'd be worried about is them, which today's lesson I feel like I did a really good job.
Yeah.
Setting them up. Like I'm worried that maybe some of them might try and do the area and like break this off and
I can
like
see that,
find
yeah.
the area of this and then find the area and then add them all together.
Definitely.
But I think today's lesson was really sticky in that like areas inside, perimeters outside, like the boundary. But those like incorrect measurements and then maybe someone trying to find the area
Mhm.
instead of perimeter.
Okay, that makes sense. It
But I
might
think
even
this
be
front page is gonna be the most I mean that's what they're doing, they're measuring the outsides.
Yep. Are there any that you can hit what you're saying about efficiency?
Yeah, all these, they're all set up for that.
Mhm.
These are all equilateral.
Yeah.
It's an equilateral triangle, so they should know, like, I'm gonna really try and, cause today's actually kinda set that up, but I wanted them to focus the difference between area and perimeter and just get that area as the outside.
Mhm.
Then I didn't hit that, so I talked about it with a square.
Mhm.
Like if this side's 4, then we should know that all the sides are 4.
Mhm.
And the same with this rhombus, exact same.
Mhm.
They're all gonna be the same length.
Mhm. So thinking about pacing of the exit ticket, what are your thoughts on 2, 3, and 4?
I like 4s
Yeah.
because it goes back to like that connection I'm really wanting them to make.
Mhm.
3s, I like the question, but it's probably like the least important for the.
Yeah.
2, no.
No, I
Like if
totally
there's
agree.
one like that I'm gonna skip, it's gonna be 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So you can do 1, have them review it. 4 would be a great one for that.
Just
Put 2 up.
the debris, no, I like that.
Awesome. Sounds good. Anything else?
No.
All right, what are your big takeaways from looking at this exit ticket? I know it's weird since we skipped modules, so in taking that into this module, what's your big takeaway?
From this exit ticket, just making sure again, like, just reading the question, but that is like that's, and I should know, that's, I mean, I do know that, like, it's one of those things where like I think you've got to hold it over them every day, and it's one of those things that like there's so many things I'm trying to do every day with like that sometimes like I forget to tell them to like underline the question, like underline, because I was really good about that in December and January whenever we were doing a lot of story problems, and now I'm like kind of moved away from that, but that's why I laugh, because it's like I've taught it so much, but it's like those are one of those things you have to do every day. That's like a 10-year teacher. When you see like a 10 to 15-year teacher, that's like they do every single day still. Every single time.
You're getting there.
1 year at a time.
Okay.
But